It's a real war going on out here. And the good thing I can tell you guys is that it's the war that we gonna win. You know what I'm saying? It's just that we got to make the adjustments and just be honest with what's going on and not be afraid to be what the history books told us that we are. We are the most just and ancient people who really, I always feel one reason we were here before anybody was to protect the planet in the galaxy. You know, we like the Guardians of the Galaxy for real talk. So it's like the chaos is because we haven't woken up to remember who we are. We are Marvel Comics. We Marvel Comics, right? Because these are stories, right?
On behalf of Akuno Sankofa Bay, you know what I'm saying? Jay, where you at? We're trying to help our people elevate. Hope. HOPE. We're giving them hope. We doing what we gotta do, you know? Every day, one step at a time, man. We're gonna make it happen. Helping our people elevate. Yeah. Sometimes I practice focus, thought, and meditate. I'm trying to come with other ways to help our people elevate and seeking knowledge, make me levitate. The lifted mental state is what results from how we orchestrate. This for the family's sake. Let's self-reflect and self-evaluate. And every day, make sure the steps you take, you calculate. Receive a master's fate. I know I can't exist without the hate, but that's okay. I balance that with higher self today. Success is on this way, and after that, my flesh can pass away.
Peace, family. We back with another one. I want to say I appreciate y'all for the love I've been getting on this platform. I appreciate the subscribers. I'm almost at 200 subscribers. The last two videos I got dropped over 100 views, but we back with another one. I know y'all saw the last video me and his brother did. We did over 100 views. Great interview, great brother. I love his energy. You know what I'm saying?
Love him.
Go ahead, bro. Introduce yourself one more time. And let's get
Islam, first want to give a shout out to Kuno Bay, man, for sacrificing his time for all of us. So I just want to let y'all know, man, we thank this brother every time we not only meet everybody. And I also want to ask him, check on the family because, we are family. So I wanted to ask him too, how the family doing, how your daughter doing and stuff like that.
All is well. Yeah, I just had her over the weekend.
You know what I'm saying? That's what started off.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. That's where the dynasty started, you know what I'm saying, with our family, so I wanted to make sure I asked them that and let y'all know, the audience, that I also love y'all too. And I'm thankful y'all taking y'all time out to even listen to what we have to say. So I want to send love and positive energy your way before we even start.
That's real. Let's get straight into it. We were discussing J.A. Rogers last time, so let's jump into J.A. Rogers.
Definitely, man, because, we in Virgo gang. I'm a Pisces. Kuno Aries, you know what I'm saying? But we both know that J.R. Rogers, I got one of his books, Sex and Race, he brought that knowledge. He was a teacher for Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Ben. He used to be with Arthur Schomburg, also got World's Great Man of Color.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got this book, Sex and Race, Volume 1. And everybody should have 100 amazing facts about the Negro in their library.
Well, right now, I had to go ahead and find it real quick.
Hey, can you also give us a quote out of that book? Because that's one of the books we all started with right there.
I mean, it's so much information in here if we want to keep it a bean. But like one is the many names we had before, so-called Black Negroes, colored. He said we were called Moors in his book. And also he talks about the first slaves in North America were not so-called Black, but they were Europeans in his book. You know what I'm saying? It's so much in this book. This man got so many books. This is just the one I have.
Classics.
The one I have, man. And this is what the man looked like, you know what I'm saying? So it ain't just no dark-skinned brother with, you know what I'm saying, an agenda. This is a light-skinned brother, but he's telling the truth. You know what I'm saying?
September 6th. Yep, his birthday, September 6th. And then he also is a part of Chicago history.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because he was a Chicago Pullman Porter. And do you know how he got started with history?
No.
Okay, so the story goes he was Chicago Pullman Porter, came from Jamaica, got a job up here, and then he's been on the train, and he used to hear Europeans talk about our history. And he started hearing them calling us Moors and stuff. And so he didn't really know what that meant, so he went to go start studying it. And that's how he started his journey and started paying his own money to travel around the world and find documents about who we are. He never got financed for any of his books, but he's just kept making books for us.
Okay, see, I ain't know that. You know what I'm saying? See, that right there tell you that the brother had a heart, you know what I'm saying, to give to his people. You know what I'm saying? What he was finding out.
Right.
Same thing we doing. You know what I mean? Like I don't do this for clout. I don't do this because most people don't like truth or they get offended by truth. So when we get these lessons or we get this information, it's not like we're doing it for no special reason. You know what I'm saying? When it hit me, I want to help the next. You know what I'm saying? I always knew it was something that wasn't right. I mean, even as a child, I just knew
There
something
you
wasn't
go.
right about, you know what I'm saying? And so once I came into a certain area of this information, now I want to spread it to the people. I want to make sure my daughter knows this, that there's an agenda being placed on us. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get too deep, but we were just talking about those shootings that happened over the night.
Right, right,
That just happened.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And this is like here in Oklahoma, here in Tulsa, just recently they had like I think 2 or 3 of those school prank shootings, calling saying they were gonna shoot the school up or whatever. And so this has been going on for a couple of years now. These mass
Yes,
school shootings and stuff, you know what I'm saying? And these things need to be discussed with our children. What to do, how to if this does happen, which way to hide, or you know what I mean, how to respond in these scenarios.
right.
But
My fault. I cut you off.
no, go ahead.
But yeah, the point he bring up is very real. That's why it's so important for us to understand the history. And sometimes we don't even got to go back that far. We can just go back to lynching and look how many of my people got lynched and how
Mm-hmm.
no one really went to jail for any of that. Even we time, so it's like yeah, I was looking at Fred Hampton earlier, who he was with Chief Malik, they was working together with with the Moorish flag and all that. And so it was showing how they shot him in the head, the Chicago Colonial policeman,
Mm-hmm.
and no one went to jail for any of that. And when I go to the gym one day, an elder pulled me to the side, like him, 80 years old. He's like, I like you, man. He started telling me how I forgot the name of his group, but like he's saying how they went to Fred Hampton House after they were shot up, and he was describing the bullet holes in the floor and all that, and he was just telling me that some of these Negro cops had helped them do that to Fred Hampton. You know what I'm saying? And so it's very important for us to know that it's a real war going on out here. And the good thing I can tell you guys is that it's a war that we gonna win. You know what I'm saying? It's just that we got to make the adjustments and just be honest with what's going on and not be afraid to be what the history books told us that we are. We are the most just and ancient people who really, I always feel one reason we were here before anybody was to protect the planet in the galaxy. We like the Guardians of the Galaxy for real talk. So it's like the chaos is because we haven't woken up to remember who we are. We are Marvel Comics. We Marvel Comics, right? Because these are stories, right?
I
And
be
so they
saying
on
that.
a, huh?
I'm listening to them like I be saying that as far as like, they couldn't have came. We can just go into Malcolm and Martin, Professor X and Magneto. You know what I'm
Thank
saying?
you.
And then we go into Mystique being a melanated woman.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
Thank
saying?
you.
Storm, her
Exactly.
connection
Nate,
with nature, Mother Nature. You know what I'm saying?
thank you.
Jubilee. I mean, it's
Huh?
so many.
They tell you.
The
The
Phoenix.
yeah, the Sentinels, the Olmec heads, you know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
so when we go read these ancient Greek texts, like with Homer and the Iliad and Plato, they are telling you that, man, the people that the Ethiops, us, we was the superheroes. We used to always save the world. That's why we watch Achilles, who Loki was a brother, right? They
Mm-hmm.
left out Memnon from Ethiopia, who was just as cold as Achilles, right? Because we don't know our story. And so when we kept reading these stories, you start to realize, oh man, the planet in trouble because the superheroes have been put to sleep. That's why when we feel, you see that all the chaos started. But when
Mm-hmm.
we was controlled, we was protecting it and one with nature. Because even I was outside there, I was like, nature not only provide food, it provide you with weapons. You can cut
Mm-hmm.
a tree down, make a bowl, melt steel, make knives, weapons. And so it's something that we have to come to grips with. That it is a war going on out here, a battle's going on out here, and it's something that we will win as we learn to be honest with ourselves and make the adjustments and not feel like the opponent is invincible. They
That's
couldn't be
like
invincible.
you got me thinking as I'm listening to you. My apologies for cutting you off, but you got
Okay.
me thinking as I'm listening to you about a video I'm working on the American Indian Wars. It was a
Hey, I'm glad
314-year war.
I'm glad you brought that up, man. Thank you. I
You know
wanted
what
to
I'm
talk about.
saying?
Yes.
I wasn't intentionally looking for what I first got into, but my first subject is on the Powhatan Confederacy, the Jamestown Massacre, 1622, and that started unveiling the Pocahontas story,
There
the
you
true
go.
Pocahontas story. You know what I'm saying? And
Thank you,
how
Ted.
these settlers came here taking land, but it also talks about how Columbus never came to North America first. He was always in Central and South America.
Thank you.
And then they go into his journal where he talks about the people he saw in North, Central, and South were dark, like the Africans over in the East. I mean, the West. You know what I'm saying?
And dressed like who?
You know what I'm saying? It's
Just
exactly
like just like Moors. He said they were the same color as the Moors.
right.
So and he was on the boat with Moors, right? And you know, you know what I'm saying? And
I
so
forgot the
because he
brother's
said
name, but the one that they guided him, like they guided him to these shores.
right, right. So because even in the movie, I'm glad you brought that up, because even when you watch Columbus movie, they say, "Oh, I know we're doing how the Moors used to do, but they don't have us on the boats." That's why it's so important for us to make a film about Columbus,
Mm-hmm.
because Columbus went to our schools in Spain. He saw
Mm-hmm.
when we surrendered. You know what I'm saying? Which go back to, like you said, the shooting. Because even back then, during Columbus era, he saw us battling Europeans, right? It's like we in Spain and Al Andalus.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is just a continuation of like thousands of years, you know, and it's
Mm-hmm.
something that we got to learn to embrace. We like Malcolm X said, we go fight for them for stuff that we can't even own. When we gonna fight for ourselves?
And as I'm unraveling this information, Britain was the New
Talk
York
to me.
East Coast area. The French had the middle, you know what I'm saying? And Spain had the West Coastern area. You know what I'm saying? And this
Yeah,
was a big
yeah,
ass war that was going on. A big battle for this land. You know what I'm saying? But all
right,
between
right.
all three colonies, between all three territories. You know what I'm saying? And
Did
what our people, like you just said, what you said, Malcolm said, we always fighting their battles. This goes back to way back then when you had certain tribes siding with these pilgrims, siding with these settlers to fight other tribes.
right. Thank you.
So we've been
Thank,
causing our own downfall.
thank
We
you.
gotta we
Exactly.
gotta stop blaming the Pale man and take accountability for what we doing.
Thank you. It's real, you know. And what we saying by that is because it's not. We saying it was not a battle and engagements with these Europeans, but we saying in reality we had ruled so long
Mm-hmm.
that we was fighting each other. When people talk about Persia invading Egypt over in the West, right, or the East, I mean Africa, whatnot. Man, these are all the same people. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Assyria. You know what I'm saying? These are the Hebrew. These are all the same people fighting. Now the Greeks, but some of the Greeks was us. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Because
I'm about to say
Cletus,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, Cletus was Alexander the Great brother, and Alexander the Great, what they don't tell you, was raised by a sister. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Which J.A. Rogers documented for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, like he's saying, like I tell people even in Chicago, like when people think we weaklings, no, you know, you got the gang, Gangster Disciple, uh, BD, brother, you know, Black Disciple. Then you got even what Chief Malik came with, which is the flag right there. He took for the Blackstone Air Rookins, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they say how we lose because we fight each other, we shoot each other, we make it easy for the colonial police to just come in and pick up a dead body while locking up the other brother. And so they didn't get paid off for two bodies over us not realizing that we're fighting over nothing that we don't own.
Or like regentrification, you know what I mean? We kill each other so much to where they pushing us out the hood and they moving in.
Exactly.
And
Exactly. It's
that's what
real.
I'm saying as I'm doing this study. Like when they did the land rush or when the colonists were in Virginia, the war started, or was basically the colonists trying to take more land, trying to settle in, trying to get more space. You know what I'm saying? And the tribes was like, "Nah, this is ours. You can't just come over here trying to just take." You know what I'm saying?
That's why
That's
they
all.
they use
Go ahead.
yeah, that's why I do the Bay brought it up, and I think even I did with my uncle. My uncle, he helped, like you say, with gentrification. How they come in the hood, because even in Chicago and Inglewood, they gentrified the areas, and they use something called eminent domain. because in the mid domain deal with people who don't have a nationality. So because you have a nationality and you have your indigenous rights, that it supersedes eminent domain, and someone's just confiscating your land, your property, and giving you a dime on a dollar, claiming that that these pilgrims who keep saying Columbus never discovered America, claiming that they got your land. You know,
right?
That's why when Tashi be like, "Hey, you still paying taxes?" And I see the brother talk about adverse possession. All that stuff is real because you have been taught from a mindset that you were all brought here on a slave ship. But if you knew the world history, you would say that has to connect with me because we were the first people on every continent. You know, that's why Indigenous Rights Day is about us. Everybody who really indigenous people look like us. Not no light skin. How can anybody lighter skin than us be indigenous if humanity started with us?
Big
and
fact.
so you're not right. And so that's not knowing that we don't know our rights. And in them rights, we see, even with Noble Drew Ali, we see what? It says, proclaim your nationality, and everybody has the rights to a nationality. And your indigenous rights, and your human rights. And so this go back to the war and the shooting, because one reason these Europeans be mad because they know this. And they know if you wake up and start to catch on to that, it changed the whole landscape of many financial institutions.
That's like, I want to ask you about the Great Depression, but before I get into that, when I was into the street life or whatever, I called myself a Crip. You know what I mean? I ran with the blue guys. And I remember one day I was at Walmart and I saw a brother, he was in all red, you know what I mean? And I had that nigga mentality, but he was with a Caucasian, he was with a European. And they were both in all red. So in my mind, I was thinking like, damn, brother, if I get into it with this Caucasian, you gonna take his side and be ready to fight with him. You're gonna ready to ride with him against me, type thing. You know what I mean? Where basically where I'm going is that those tribes that chose to side with the Pilgrims over their own, it's the same repeat. That nation over in Africa that chose to side with them colonists against the Ashanti, or you know what I mean? It's the same repeat.
Yeah, even in India, that's what I thought earlier. I said a lot of us are always told, they colonized Africa. That's not really the truth. It really started in Europe and Asia. And once they got that program together, they took it on the road to Africa and America. You know what I'm saying? That's why they try to have that Buddha look what Buddha look like, or how we ruled in Europe. Because you start to say, well, then how do we lose power? And then you start to see the trends, you know what I'm saying? And the good thing we got going is we really have power more recent than what we've been told. You know, we think about September Severus and other people in Scotland and Ireland. But I want to add this to the thing about he said about the natives in England and the Pilgrims, because when they just had the Alabama brawl and people's like, I'm gonna tell my kids, this is our Boston Tea Party, and I'm saying to myself, really, we were the Boston Tea Party, right?
Right.
Because the Europeans dressed up as they put tar and feathers on their bodies. And the Queen of England was Queen Charlotte, and the natives here were black people. You know what I'm talking about, so-called black people, right?
Let's say Queen Charlotte was a mixed sister, wasn't she?
Yeah, she right.
She was a
Moor. And so it's like, so the Boston Tea Party, when they said they was fighting England, her husband had went crazy. And so she was the one that had the power. So they were fighting her, and then they dressed up like us. They put the tar on their body, put the feathers, because what? Even when we were enslaved, they were calling us tar babies. You know what I'm saying? And so, like he said, all that is stories that we have to really cross-examine again, like Crispus Attucks and all that, because Pocahontas, because we being told as if we not a part of these stories, but reality, we're gonna find that it's a global culture.
And then as I was doing my research, working on this video I'm working on, the image that they give you of her in Europe, when she's got the hat on her head and she's got the little student, that was a drawing of them converting her into Christianity. And so they tried to make her as Europeanized as they could.
Thank you. That makes sense. Yeah, I'm gonna give you an example. Yes.
And so you gotta, because like how she go from being this tribal woman, this dark-skinned tribal woman, to this light-skinned, pale European woman with this pointy-ass nose.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and I'm gonna give you an example of why I agree with that. Because in Chicago, when they talk about DuSable, and they talk about how he came to see this Native American tribe, the Potawatomi, right? When you go
That's
study, they
exactly
was
what.
like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? You go
Yeah.
study them to like to the Iroquois. This is all ancient Kemet, right? The language, this is all ancient Kemet, and how they if you don't know, the Sabo got married at the Cahokia Mounds, a pyramid, right? Now, when the school books there say to you, oh, and his wife is like you say part of a tribe, which means she got the power. But then they'll tell you that him or her got married and she changed the name to Catherine or something. Now, why would she change her name, which give her power, right, to a Christian name?
Come
And,
on
and
now.
like and like he said, how was the South able to get here? Because France owned the middle, you know what I'm talking about,
Louisiana
right?
Purchase. That was
Right,
Louisiana
yeah,
Purchase. It wasn't the state of
right.
Louisiana as people think it is. It was them 15 states.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because remember,
Yeah.
because Haiti and all that, right? Because they said, because some people say the Saba was a spy. Because you got to ask yourself, what made this man even want to come here? If
Right.
you over here, so what books was he reading? And so they tried to hide that the people he encountered were Moors, and it was very, can he say the Iroquois, the Potawatomi, the Micmac, the Montauk. You know what I'm saying?
Yamasee, yeah.
The Yamasee, you know what I'm saying? If we talk about like the Federation or whatnot, this is all ancient Kemet stuff, low key. That's why the
And,
feathers in.
that Potawatomi tribe you talking about, that's Pocahontas' tribe.
Right. So, and when you go back and read and study their language and all that, it go all the way back to the African Asiatic languages. You know what I'm saying? The Mi'kmaq. You know what I'm saying? And so, because Dr. Shazi McIntyre was showing this, how all this is the same. When they go study East and West Africa language, it's the same. When they go study East Africa and ancient American language, it's all the same.
That's
You know
how
what I'm
they were
saying?
able to trade amongst each other thousands of years before Columbus even came.
Thank you. And
They
like you
had to have
said,
that connection. If you look inside both pyramids on both continents, you see that there's similarities.
thank you. And they got the books. Thank you. Even everywhere they go, people always say, well, Egypt over there. No, that's just like they say, the mouth. This is a global, if not intergalactic empire. You know what I'm talking about? Because you can't be that advanced to build that type of stuff, which is advanced, some stuff we've seen today, and not start to think about the highway, the cosmos. And so, and even underground in the water, our ancestors were way more advanced because they didn't have to deal with what we're dealing with today. They able to think outside the box a little bit more,
They were the first thinkers.
Thank you. Yeah, because when they talk about these UFOs,
they taught the Europeans everything that they know, and then we've been miseducated or misinformed, or as Brother Abdullah said, we haven't been directed in certain studies.
Exactly.
I mean, we've been taught one way. Our robot.
Exactly. We've been taught the 330 degrees other than 360 degrees. And the other 30 is in our DNA. That's why look in the mirror, man. We so swagged out, so dope with it intellectually that we don't even see that we are driving really the whole world economy with just innovation and being creative and just loving what we do. We have no clue, low key, who we really even are and why we so dope. They know it though. We are the gold. Like people always say.
As you said in the last one, I mean, look at all the sports athletes, you know what I mean? Or look at the entertainers, you know what I'm saying? Look at the actors. I mean, look at just the regular people, me and you. Look at how they copy our swag or our conversation, you know what I'm saying? Our culture. Everybody wants to be like the real gods.
Yeah, even when you said about the gang stuff, how the European, he was copying his style. Because you see now, when we saw swag, it's crazy, right? Like, when I look at Soultron, I be like, because, we so used to thinking that they wanted us to be in music, right? No, they were trying to stop all that, right? It got to the point that we got so dope, we just dominated it. But you got to say, damn, these little kids from the ghetto just stopped playing instruments, making you know what I'm saying? Some of them had no training. All they had was an idea. Even some of these inventors. Louis Latimer, this man was inventing the light bulb as a person that was still colonized.
And just a small example on what you said, as far as they didn't have the skills, they just went in there and learned it. Shout out to DJ Screw. I watched the
Yeah,
DJ
say it
Screw
again, huh?
documentary, you know what I'm saying?
I gotta see that.
You know what
Yes,
I'm saying? And
yes.
the way he just learned it, you know what I mean? He put it together and blew up off of it.
Thank you. I'm
You know
glad
what
you
I'm
brought him
saying?
up, man, because I was short thinking about him in cancer season. Because my artist, he from Houston.
We
He
want
from
to talk about
Chicago.
your music as well. Yeah, yeah. I want to
Yeah,
make sure. Yeah.
and then when he left, he from Chicago. His mother and family from Chicago, but he moved to Houston as a youngster. His name Why Not Bird. But when I reconnected with him, he was playing DJ Screw, which you all know at the era was killing the game, and really low key is still killing the game globally.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that the radio on them is not playing creative stuff. They just trying to play low vibration stuff. But Screw changed the game, being creative, because in any business to corner the market, you got to be creative.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like people think that's why people talk about music today. Like, why is it suffering? Because there's no creativity.
Mm-hmm.
People sound you got to go outside the box, because when we grew up in, we seen groups, Jodeci, the '90s and it was just like a different era of creativity music wise, where you can really tell people really put a lot into their craft. Because
When
today
you
we
had to open
still
up the cassette tape and you had to read
say it
like
again, bro.
everything that was put into it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Yeah.
I tell you, we used to be in line at stores, go in the store, walk around the store, listen to the sample. It was like going to the movies for us, to the
Yeah, I remember
music
that.
store.
Yeah, put the headphones on
Yeah,
and get to
right.
going through it. Yeah.
Kids have no clue what that is today, right? Like we had to stop at Sam Goody and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Just to
Going to
get
the mall.
one
I remember
tape.
that. Mm-hmm.
Then CDs came. We like, what? And then MP3 came. We like, what? And then Napster came. We like, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
We just catching on to what really happened to the whole music game. How everything's so available. We ain't have music back then.
Mm-hmm.
You might not line like you heard about certain.
If it said parental advisory, you had to be a certain age to get it.
Yeah, man. It was like going to the movie store. Like you couldn't access the triple X, right? So it was like it was a different era for us, the payphone era. And so that's why I believe that it should be even greater music coming out in this era, because they have more access to the hits than we did.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's artists now I love, like when I think about Jackie Wilson, ain't nobody have no Jackie Wilson CD or nothing like that. But the YouTube, you can't get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
YouTube allowed me to say, oh, this dude was a legend. I ain't know anybody have no Sam Cooke CD.
Mm-hmm.
Lou Rawls. I'm
If
able
I'm
to hit.
honest, I haven't listened to the radio in over 5 years.
Thank you, bro. I keep telling people, like, when I hear people
old music.
so say it again. And look, like he just said, we didn't even have the confidence with that, because our CD would scratch up. You see, I can play the same song over, and I done play songs I love more than ever. I done walked with them, exercise with them. You know what I'm saying? It's food. I listen to more music now. Probably not even watch, like he said, watch TV, listen to the radio.
We got 9.5 minutes, but we good.
Okay. Because like he was saying, like Nipsey Hussle is a perfect example. A guy who I would tell you, that I tell anybody who doing music, go to watch his videos. I mean, his videos on business, because he taught me how to monetize my music. Right, people like him, other guys, right, but definitely him. Where he showed how the digital world music landscape is different from when we was growing up. Because, you know what I'm saying? And because also one reason is because it's more creatives in the game now. More people are able to create, whether it's film, stuff like this, podcasts, and interviews. Because back then all we had was paid programming.
That's it.
You get what I'm talking about? So now, like he said, with music and all that, it's changing the game, and we're really trying. Now we're able to see who really hot and who not hot.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Because like he said, when I hear people talking about my artists on radio, maybe if I'm driving the car and my Bluetooth ain't working, I might turn the radio on. But other than that, I'm walking out. Listen, I'm leaving the house playing my music into the car.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying, bro? I'm in the store with it. You get what I'm saying? If I can do it. So I just tell people, you got to come with something hot, man. And I would tell any artist, study the greats to become greater. You know, don't just be out here thinking because you can get money with it. Now study the art, because in it, you will find a movement. You will find these great artists trying to awaken our people through these, like Michael Jackson. People don't, this guy took his money, may remember the time. He was trying to send you a message, you know, Barry White. They trying to tell you, wake up, man. Look how dope we are doing this shit. Excuse my language, doing this music.
Yeah. Him and
Yeah.
Michael Jackson and Pac had a song, same title, just they worded it different. They don't care about us.
Thank you. And he look on Tupac's chest, he got the ancient Kemet tattoo.
Never tell you, yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Because they were studying this stuff and they knew after a while, oh, it's not a coincidence I'm so dope. I've been doing this for 1,000 years. Now I got to get my people around me to wake up so we can know how dope we always been.
But
and then
Kendrick Lamar's second album, when he was like, or it may have been his third one. Shout out to Kendrick Lamar, but he say, "Don't call me black no more." That word is just a color. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even though he Hebrew Israelite, you know what I mean? Respect to the Israelites, you know what I'm saying? But he like you said, they trying to wake the people up.
Yeah, almost, you know what I'm saying? Because we know all that stuff come from the global empire. Because we can start talking about Isis, Ra, and Elohim, you know what I'm saying? And so, and I always tell them Hebrew is an Afro-Asiatic language, you know what I'm saying? So you're already dealing with Moorish language. So it's real, like you say, with Kendrick Lamar, who also say he come from Chicago, they are giving us signs and symbols. Like you say, he's talking about nationality. Even Common, he'd be like, "Hey, before I was Rashad Ali, people knew me as Noble Jew Ali." Michael Jackson even said, "Me and you in Spain." You know, his brother converted to the nation Islam with and started teaching about with the world history.
Or now I say the problem is we start thinking like the colonists, and Noble Jew Ali start dropping their consciousness.
Start dropping that consciousness. You see Beyonce with the Formation video where she got the brother with the fez on, and she started saying, "Y'all kill me with this Illuminati stuff." And then Jay-Z got the song
with Derrick Rose. He had a fez on.
Yeah, Chi-Town, right? Because you know, because what I tell you all the time, with this technology that we got, we're able to see it, and it's the information is so much out with people like us, right, and others who put just a chip in that is able to study really late at night and at least get an idea that, hey, something ain't right here. You know what I'm saying? How this guy, oh, wait a minute, them Indians look like black folks. You gotta get what I'm saying? And so it gets I always say rewire your speaker. I always say us Moors, us black folks, we are just a speaker that somebody came and took the wires out. All we gotta do is rewire and the speaker bang again.
And that's why I want to give a shout out to Brother Abdullah, because that brother has passed down so much information to me
so much
in the last 2-3 months, you know what I'm saying? And that's a great brother, you know what I'm saying? And,
legend.
And he's passing the torch, you know what I'm saying? Because it's our time to spread this information to the people. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like we in this tech age, this is our time to use this to our benefit. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think I was going to be putting videos on YouTube. I didn't think I was going to be a part of the community, but I was an ex-street cat on some dumb stuff. You know what I'm saying?
And but I feel a lot of us go through that phase because it gave us our warrior spirit. Because to deal, we got to deal with, you got to have no fear. Because I always say sometimes the streets is kind of more tougher than this. You know what I'm saying? Because my enemy sometimes was right there across the street or around the corner. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like I think that we had to go through that phase to be able to apply that to what we do today. To know that, hey, you know, I was fighting, but now I'm gonna fight something for my people and make sure that we're on the right track and that the future generation.
I was gonna say that as far as like when we were living that knucklehead life, we didn't realize the influences we had on our peers or our little cousins, you know what I'm saying, little brothers, whoever it may have been.
Yeah,
you know what
man.
I'm saying? But then you get older and you come into this information like we on, you looking back at them like, damn, I was the one guided them down the route, you know what I mean, that they on.
That exactly, it's real, man. That's kind of why I made sure. That's why I come to music. I know I have to keep making it because, like you say, some songs were not the right thing. It was just like you said, growing up, and we always gotta make sure that we balance out the message so people can understand. Yeah, I did do that, but I changed and got better, not only for myself, but for my community, locally and
I took
globally.
Accountability for my actions.
Yeah, it's real, man. And then also I want to say, with music wise, when we look back at the people that taught us, the real hip hop, KRS-One, the real R&B, the real disco, you know what I'm saying? The real house music, we realized, man, it made our day brighter.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Playing Bill Withers, A Lovely Day. It feel better now that I'm older
Mm-hmm.
than when I was younger. It was just now I'm older. I'm saying, yeah, I'm glad these songs exist because it helps me get through my day.
Mm-hmm.
Positive energy, and that's why I fell in love with music to start making music from these people who were the early pioneers of all these genres. And like you say, somewhere along the line, we got kind of misguided. But now that we got the archives again from all the music catalogs, we back on track.
We got 2.5. You got a message you want to give to anybody that's gonna watch this?
My message is stay tuned, man. We're gonna be definitely hitting a lot of spots, and I hope I can get Akuna up here one day so we can go to the museum together too.
Yeah,
Because I want to show you guys the stuff hitting right in you guys' faces to show to that you are always great and that I got my money on y'all. I just
I
want
gotta
you to
make sure
stay
I'm prepared
positive.
for that weather up there though.
Huh? Yeah,
I
I
gotta
know.
make
Four
sure.
seasons one day. You hear me? I
Yeah,
stay with a hoodie on. I'd be like, I don't trust it, And so
yeah.
I just want to let y'all know, man, that we gonna win this. And just keep doing good and be righteous and keep on, man, creating the arts, creating the history, creating the love, and creating the teamwork, and creating your sacrifice for each other. And I look forward to the next 30 videos with Kuna because we're gonna make
Oh,
sure
yeah,
that we build them.
I want to create like a podcast or a platform with you. You know what I mean? Keep it a bean.
Yeah,
Keep what we even are talking about. You know what I mean? I want to do something big with you because
I'm down with all that.
I know it'll take off.
Yeah, and then hopefully if everything goes right, we can start to get into films and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to do plays and all that to keep on telling our story and our history. Because I realize through education or enlightenment, everybody learn different. Some people visual, some people audio, and we're gonna make sure we get y'all all of that.
And that's why with my content, my solo content, I'm making sure I'm finding the right photos, documentations, artifacts, everything I'm presenting so that they can actually see and hear that this is real and that it really happened, existed. This is who we are. This is what we've done.
Thank you.
Our accomplishments. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Uh,
That's what I'm gonna take you to the museum.
Yeah, I want to check that out as well. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna try to get that in the future. We're gonna make sure we plan it properly. You know what I mean? Make that happen.
Oh, one more thing. Get all the J.A. Rogers books in your library, and I guarantee they'll be life changing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, most definitely, brother. I appreciate you giving me your time again on this platform, and we're gonna work together again. So y'all gonna see us again.
Many times.
Yeah, y'all gonna see us again. Peace and
Yes,
love,
love
my
y'all.
brother.
Islam.
Islam, brother.
Johnson there. Old Shimon Hotel.
Peace.